if you're not a man who is more accomplished, more knowledgeable, more successful, more dominant than she is, you're gonna have issues with her submitting. She is gonna be argumentative. She is gonna be challenging. It's not always toxicity. Sometimes it's just you're dealing with the wrong level of woman. You know what I'm saying? Not every woman is for every man. Just because you find her physically attractive doesn't mean that she's physically right for you. Hey, what's good, y'all? It's your bro, the God. Listen, today I'm talking about the misconception with what's going on, how men are labeling modern day women as masculine. When they have a problematic woman or whatever like that, they consider them masculine. But they are missing the target with what they're trying to describe. These men are describing toxic women, not masculine women. When they describe a woman who is defensive, argumentative, challenging, dominating, easily triggered, an annoying pain in the ass, always trying like overcompensate for trying to look strong or whatever like that, those are just toxic traits. Toxic people, when they're around someone who's like strong, clean, good, and things like that, they try to overcompensate for their weaknesses by being overbearing, over aggressive. So that's toxicity. That's not masculinity. A masculine woman is a woman who is stoic, disciplined, structured, ambitious. Yes, that's good. But also giving. Masculine gives. Feminine receives. So if she's masculine, that means she's giving. If a woman is not giving and she's just expecting to receive, she's just toxic. She's not masculine at all. So y'all gotta stop labeling them with the wrong title, because what it does is that it gives masculinity a bad name, because you're giving bad women the title of masculine. What they're gonna do is that they're not gonna see it as a bad thing, because everybody wants to be masculine. Everybody has to grow into being masculine. You're not born masculine. All life is born feminine. Everybody mentally is feminine. Everybody is fluid, all right? Everybody is willing to receive all that stuff when you're young. As you get older, you become more masculine. As you get older, you earn your masculinity through work, through lessons, through traumas, through getting over things. That's how you become stoic. That's how you become disciplined. That's how you become dominant. That's how you become giving. All these things come through experience, knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to work for those things. Toxicity is the opposite. So if you're having a issue with women saying that they're argumentative, they're easily triggered, they always want to challenge, a lot of times you guys got to take into consideration what nature is, right? What is female nature? Females by nature mostly are hypergamous. What does being hypergamous mean? Hypergamy means that they want more than what they are, or they want the best option. But in general, they want more than what they are. If she's big and strong, she wants a bigger, stronger guy. If she's fast, she wants a faster guy. If she has money, she wants a guy with more money. If she's knowledgeable, she wants a guy with more knowledge, right? Women want men that they respect, and they respect men that are more than what they are, because women want to grow. They are programmed to grow. Because why? Because they create and grow life. So they are drawn towards growth. And in order to grow, they need to be around what is bigger, better than they are. So if you're not a man who is more accomplished, more knowledgeable, more successful, more dominant than she is, you're gonna have issues with her submitting. She is gonna be argumentative. She is gonna be challenging. It's not always toxicity. Sometimes it's just you're dealing with the wrong level of woman. You know what I'm saying? Not every woman is for every man. Just because you find her physically attractive doesn't mean that she's physically right for you. Y'all can have sex and shit like that. When it just comes to just fucking and having sex and going out and stuff like that, it doesn't really matter, you know, social status, how much you make, all that stuff, if it's just about having a good time and being in the bedroom. But when it does come time for roles and structure, the man being more, having more, is always going to be where the balance is at. All right, that's why men typically want younger women. Younger people in general are usually less successful, they're less dominant, less confident, they haven't achieved as much, they have less money than older people, regardless of sex. And that's also why women typically like older men, because like I said, they want someone more knowledgeable, more money, more achievements, more, everything more. Men shoot for less. Another reason why men like thick women over fit women is because if you're dating a fit woman, you need to be more fit. When she goes to the gym, she's attracted to guys who are in better shape than her, who know more about what she wants to know about more than her, who knows better workouts, have a better nutrition plan, have more followers, gets more attention, gets more respect in the gym. They are drawn to that man. They will settle for a man who is less when they feel needy, but once they get over that need, they're gonna go back to, or they will cheat on you with, the man they truly want, which is the man who is more than what they are in the field that they're in. Why? Because by nature, women are like the moon. The moon seeks a sun to reflect. The sun is bigger than the moon. Therefore, they want a man that is bigger than them, that shines brighter than they do. If you're with a woman who has like an amazing body, right? And she dresses very loud. If she is the moon and you are the sun, you have to be louder than she is. You don't have to speak louder. You could speak louder. That could be one way for you to be seen. But, you know, it could be jewelry. It could be the way you dress. It could be the shape you're in. Maybe your size, your stature, you know, all that. Your presence has to be louder than her. Women always want a man with a louder presence. That's why, like, when you see girls who have an amazing body and they get with men who have like a weak or quiet presence, people could notice that. You know, they don't really show that guy respect. They're usually flirting with other guys. They're talking to whoever they want. They're dressing crazy because they're not respecting the presence of the man they're with. But when they're with a guy who has a louder presence than they do, they feel safer. Now, some women are narcissists. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. There are always people who are narcissists. And a narcissist, she's gonna wanna shine more and be louder than whatever man she's around. And typically, narcissistic women are toxic. They are easily triggered. They want to argue and all those things. They're not respecting what God put in place, the laws of nature, the laws of balance. Anytime you're fighting nature, you're fighting the laws of the universe, you're fighting what God put in place, it's not going to end well. Whatever you're getting is not going to last. Because God already showed you how the masculine and the feminine work in nature, with the sun, with the moon, with animals, with the elements, with the weather. All these things, God has shown you how the masculine and the feminine work together and how that relationships last. When because of what you feel, depending on what you watch, what you listen to, who you're around, right? What you feel things should be, right? Even though your consciousness, no matter who you are, is lower than the God consciousness, than whatever consciousness it was that created nature, that created the sky and stuff like that. Yours is much lower. So you think things should be this way. Oh, a guy should respect me for this. A guy should do this. You're gonna shoulda lower yourself, because it's already out there now. Does that mean that you have to, if you're a woman, you got to make less money? You got to be out of shape? You got to dress real quiet and stuff like that? No. But what it does mean is that you need to be aware, if you are rich, if you do like dressing loud, if your body is amazing and stuff like that, look for the guys who are louder than you. You need guys who are louder than you. You need that to balance you. A guy who is quieter than you is not going to balance you. You feel me? Imagine a planet where the moon is bigger than the sun. Shit is not going to work out. And that's what's going to happen with y'all. Y'all think that is masculinity, so you need a man who is more feminine. No, that is toxicity. Those are toxic thoughts. Anytime you go against nature, that is toxic. Nature is clean. You guys got to remember, feminine energy is like the element of water. Water is feminine. What happens when water becomes toxic? You can't drink it. If you drink water, it will make you sick. It's the same thing with a toxic woman. If you're around a toxic woman, it's like being with toxic water, all right? It will eventually make you sick. Shit will spread, right? That toxicity will spread in you. understand what you're sacrificing to be with her. Now, some people say, oh, sex is better with a toxic whatever like that, I find that that's basically cap. All right, toxic women are not more fun in bed. I don't give a fuck what TV shows and music and shit like that tell you. Now, women that might have had like some good sexual experiences and, you know, they got some nice talent and skills in the bedroom, that might make sex better, and they just so happen to be toxic, but that has nothing to do with toxicity. That is just experience, because there are plenty of toxic women that are not experienced, not skilled, not talented in the bedroom, and basically when you're with them, like even like you think the sex is gonna be great because of the way they look, and it's just trash. Now I know I went off topic there a little bit, but it's because a lot of times people believe that toxicity leads to like good sex, and it doesn't. Compatibility leads to good sex. The more feminine a woman is, the more fluid she is. Think of water, think of fluidity, think of sex with a woman like wet sex, watery sex, you know what I'm saying? That's usually good sex, but she has to be clean, right? Because you can have dirty water. Dirty water don't smell good, you feel me? So toxic women usually don't smell good either, alright? Y'all gotta be careful with that. Toxicity comes many different ways. Toxicity could come from what she watches, what she listens to, and what she eats, as well as who she's around. So men can be toxic too, but when you think of a man being toxic or whatever like that, that happened when he was feminine. We're all feminine when we're young, right? Men become toxic when they're young, when you're fluid. That's when men become toxic, because as we get older, we become more like earth, we become more like stone. You can't infect stone with toxins. As we become more masculine and shit like that, if when you were fluid, you became toxic, now when you're an older masculine man, it's like a toxic stone. You feel me? And then it's much harder to heal and fix that. So then like even with women as well, when y'all become toxic when y'all young, as y'all get older, y'all can become more masculine too. It becomes like a toxic stone, and then it becomes harder to detox that toxicity. I'm saying all this to say, when we complain about the opposite sex, saying someone is being masculine or overly masculine or toxic masculinity, we got to stop that. We're disrespecting what masculinity is. Masculinity, like I said before, is stoic, structured, disciplined, giving, passionate, dominant, ambitious. All these things are masculine. Toxicity is challenging, overly aggressive, negative, you know, argumentative, and just brings issue, brings trouble, starts drama. That's all toxicity. Unnecessary friction, unnecessary obstacle. That's what toxicity brings. So be mindful when you see what's toxic. Don't mislabel it with masculinity, because we all want what's masculine. Okay, we all want that. Men, of course, we want feminine women, but a woman who is feminine but knows how to be truly masculine, she has a structure that protects her water. So her water is clean, her feminine energy is clean. If she is stoic, if she is disciplined, that means that she's probably patient. You need women to be patient, because women have the power to skip the line. And because of that, a lot of times, because of their hypergamous nature, they always looking to skip the line. That's why you get these women who are toxic and always keep their options open. They can't stick around one man because they could always skip the line. But sometimes when you keep skipping the line, you end up out of the line in general, and you never even get on the freaking ride. And that's why y'all need to adapt or adopt what is truly masculine, because then when you're with a man and you see things, you see some growth and stuff like that, you'll be a bit more patient. But it's only natural for a woman to want a man that is more than what she is. Because if you want women to submit, you have to be more. Nobody submits to something that is the same or less. It has to be more. A pastor has to be closer to God for you to submit to that pastor's message when he's speaking to you. If you feel you're closer to God or as close to God as the pastor, you're probably not going to freaking listen to the pastor. Same thing with teachers. If you go to school and you're in math class and shit like that, and you feel like you know either as much or more about math than the teacher, you're not going to listen to the teacher. You're not going to submit to the teacher. You're going to write off what the fuck they're saying. It's the same thing in relationships. Men, you have to be more than what the woman you're talking to is. And women, y'all gotta understand that the more you become, the stronger you become, the richer you become, you have less options. I'm not saying to settle for a man with less. I'm not saying to settle for a man who has as much. But just know, when the options become smaller, that means you are sharing your options. That's why the strongest, most powerful females in most species, like for instance, lions, gorillas, lions the strongest cats, gorillas the strongest primates, they share the males. The Amazons, the Amazonian women, people think that was fiction. Science proves that no, there was a real culture, a real tribe where the women ruled and the women conquered shit. They were polygamous. They shared men. The bigger, the stronger, the more powerful you become, ladies, the less your pool is, the smaller your pool is. Those men that are still stronger than you, still more powerful than you, still have more money than you and shit like that, right? Those men have all the options. Those men are not going to settle for just you, because by nature wants the strongest to produce the most. Nature wants the best to reproduce the most. You can only reproduce one man at a time, but that one great man can reproduce himself multiple times with multiple women, and that's what he's built to do. So ladies, just understand that the higher you rise, the more polygamy is evident for you as like your best option. To be honest, you will be dating guys, you will be with guys and shit like that, but as you become with men who are higher and better than you as you're growing, if you don't get with a guy early before he reaches that level and stuff like that, chances are you're gonna be sharing that guy. If you're dating a guy who's doing way better than you, ladies, and you're doing really good, you're sharing him. No cap. I don't give a fuck what you think, what he says, you are sharing him, because wherever he goes, he's better than most of the men there and most of the women there, so they're going to be drawn to him just like you are. Be mindful of that. Understand that. And understand that it's not a bad thing, because a lot of times you have to need to compete with women. Once women stop thinking about competing with each other and uniting with each other over something good and being willing to share with each other and stuff like that, which polygamy works in there, even though men took it over and basically fucked it up. But polygamy is a natural, normal thing, is a feminine thing as well. But anyway, fuck that whole, oh, women are masculine shit. It's just that the modern day woman is toxic because the modern era is toxic. Toxicity is big in this modern society right now, and we need to detox our society. That's why fasting and detoxing and all those things are really big right now. Health is really big right now. Mental health is really big right now because society is toxic, you feel me? And women represent the water of society. So if society is toxic, that means the water is toxic. That means our women are toxic. So we need to detox. We need to clean the waters. We need to help with detoxing the women. And guys, it starts with us. We got to clean ourselves. We got to detox ourselves. If you can clean yourself, detox yourself, then when you're around a toxic woman and shit like that, you'll know what you're dealing with, and you'll know the steps it takes and the patience it takes to help her detox. All right? Anyways, your bro, the God. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.